So, honey, where'd you get that Monstervision t-shirt? Because the only place I ever saw one of those is at CNN Center at the Turner store. Did you shoplift that thing out of there?
No, I won it in a contest on Monstervision website.
Oh, the website thing again.
Yeah.
What contest? I've never heard of that.
It's the monster caption contest. It's really cool. They put a picture on there of a monster, and you write in and you write the caption for it, and if they pick you, you win, and I won.
Well, you shouldn't win that. You're not eligible for that. You work here. That's not right.
Well, maybe if you were nicer to people, you could win one, too. You don't even know the website address.
I know the website address.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it has .com or net.com or something like that in it.
God, we might be here all night. It's tnt.turner.com/monstervision.
I was just about to say that, but you interrupted me.
Yeah.
Check out the caption contest on the Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/monstervision. Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and The Protector on TNT.
Now, was that a good stunt? That was a good stunt. The old helicopter rope escape speedboat chase with Fireball in New York Harbor stunt. And that's only the first amazing Jackie Chan stunt in The Protector. So why did this movie bomb in 1985 and then 11 years later Rumble in the Bronx is such a big hit? I have no idea. All I know is that when this movie came out, the critics trashed it. The New York Times wrote a vicious review of it. It was vicious because it called it run-of-the-mill, boring, average, Hong Kong-type chop socky, which, and I mean, I admit it's not as good as Police Story, the one that Jackie Chan directed that same year, but it's pretty dang decent. It's not run-of-the-mill. And what's really funny about the whole thing is that Jackie Chan came to America around 1982. He was going to take America by storm. He had these backers who put him in movies like The Big Brawl and Cannonball Run, and this movie, The Protector, and everybody yawned. And then Jackie makes Rumble in the Bronx in Hong Kong. I mean, he didn't even go to the Bronx. He shot stuff in Vancouver and called it the Bronx, but most of it he shot in Hong Kong. And everybody praised that movie as Jackie's big American breakthrough. That movie was set in the Bronx, but it was a pure D Hong Kong film. This movie we're watching is set mostly in Hong Kong, but it's a pure D American film, so go figure that. I have no idea. It's too bad he didn't break out till now, though, because now he's 43 years old, and when you do these stunts every day, you start to get a lot of injuries that you can't bounce back from right away. Okay, back to the flick. I'm just guessing, but I don't think the captain is going to be too pleased with Jackie after that stunt. What do you think? Roll it. I personally practice the TNT style of martial arts. Have you heard of that? You take lame movies from the 80s and you run them over and over again, pummeling your opponent into submission. We call it Ted Fu.
So, honey, where have you been disappearing to every Saturday night?
I've been going to the Monstervision chat room.
Oh, you have not.
Yes, I have.
You're not going to any computer chat room. I don't care how perky you are.
Yes, I have. Yes, I do. And it's definitely more interesting than anything around here.
So you go to some place where they say .com all the time. .com this and .com that and .com the other thing.
Yeah, I do.
Do some .com talk for me then.
Well, fine, I will. Every Saturday night, I go to tnt.turner.com/monstervision. How's that?
I can do computer talk.
Oh, can you? Like what?
RAM. I'm legendary for my RAM.
Oh, boy.
I pack a lot of RAM.
Come chat in Joe Bob's Rec Room every Saturday night at tnt.turner.com/monstervision. Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and The Protector on TNT.
Well, that scene in the police chief's office was basically the how can we get Jackie to Hong Kong with Danny Aiello and keep this movie going plot device. And, of course, the chief goes for that idea of sending him to Hong Kong because the two cops who were working crowd control duty deserved to follow up on that kidnapping they witnessed. And you know what it means when the plane lands in Hong Kong, though? It means pretty soon there's going to be some major sampan bashing as Jackie vaults through open-air markets and dances across water taxi roofs in Hong Kong Harbor. And I don't care how many times he does that. I never get tired of watching him do that. Also, nice touch with Danny Aiello waxing nostalgic about his Nam days. That's what we need at a time like this. Character exposition. Excellent. I love this movie. Okay, roll it. By the way, did you notice who plays Benny Garucci, the muscle for Shapiro, who tussles a little bit with Danny Aiello at that party? It's Bill Wallace, better known as Superfoot. That's right. Sometimes I think half the people watching this show have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay, see, because I'm doing the show for the other three who do appreciate it.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and The Protector on TNT.
Chan Kwong Sang, better known as Jackie Chan, in the famous massage parlor sequence from The Protector. Now, obviously, there was a whole lot of nudity in there that we didn't show you due to the malicious influence of the cruel TNT censors. Like that one woman that walks in, she comes on to Danny Aiello while they're getting the back massage. She gets naked as a jaybird in that movie, and so do those two cuties with the assassin's daggers. But those were still some great kung fu scenes as they escaped from the place, especially that one with all the breakaway furniture. I love that one. And how could the critics hate this movie? That's what I want to know. If Buster Keaton did any of those same stunts, they would have said, oh, that's genius, you know? But if Jackie Chan does it, it's just some El Cheapo kung fu movie. Jackie Chan, he actually models his choreography on 5 people. Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, and does anybody know the 5th one? You never get this. Bugs Bunny. I'm not making that up. Jackie says, he says that he has actually learned martial arts moves from watching Bugs Bunny. Okay, time to go to the harbor. And of course, we love it when Jackie visits the harbor, right? Roll it. Jackie can be a little out there sometimes. I'm not denying it, you know? I just hope he doesn't try to do that Bugs Bunny move where he dances on Elmer Fudd's head, you know, like that. On second thought, you know, get Chris Farley to play Elmer Fudd. I'd watch that.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and The Protector on TNT.
Another classic Jackie Chan chase scene where the bad guy has a vehicle and all Jackie has are his feet and his wits. He stole that motorcycle, jumped it onto that boat, pole vaulted across the water, ran across those boat tops. I don't know what else you can do in that scene. And, you know, I always assume that anybody watching this show probably already knows everything there is to know about Jackie, but just to review, for those of you who may not know, he learned all his martial arts by training with the Peking Opera, because his family was dirt poor, so they moved from Hong Kong to Australia when he was 6, and then from age 7 to age 17, Jackie was in this Peking Opera school where you study acrobatics and martial arts and mime, and this place is like hell. If you screw up, they abuse you. You know, it's like you do the move wrong, they beat the crap out of you. You know, it's like the child labor camp of martial arts, and so that's where he developed all his physical skills. Then he was a child actor in about 20 films, and then his first film as an adult was Little Tiger from Canton in 1971, and then in 1976 he made New Fists of Fury, and that's when it was predicted that he would become the next Bruce Lee, but that never did pan out because he just didn't have that type of personality, really. He invented his own new type of kung fu, though, kung fu comedy. He was really the first one to do it. Movies like Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, that's a famous one. My favorite one was Drunken Master, about this martial artist who can only fight well when he's drunk. I love that movie. Those fight scenes are hysterical in that movie. Great physical comedian. And then he became known as a director and a screenwriter and the only guy who would actually risk death in a stunt, because he had a lot of famous stunts, like the one where he falls off a 5-story tower while he's in handcuffs in Project A, and then the one where he slides down the live electrical wire in Police Story. He roller skates under a diesel truck in Winners and Sinners, and of course he almost killed himself when he swung out from a tree limb in Armor of God, and he missed on the fall and cracked his head wide open. But anyway, he still does his stunts, and he says he'll try to keep doing them for another few years, maybe till he's 50, if he makes it. Okay, let's get back to more amazing action sequences from The Protector. What's amazing to me is he always looks like he's just floating, you know? Never even breaks a sweat with the way it looks on camera. You can tell why he likes Fred Astaire, why he admires Fred Astaire. Because you know what Jackie Chan's favorite movie is? The Sound of Music. These Hong Kong guys, they're nuts.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and The Protector on TNT.
Okay, while our team gets ready to hit the Evil Co's Container Shipyard Drug Factory, it's time for the popular weekly feature, Joe Bob's Jailbreak, in which we pay tribute to our men in prison stripes, wherever they may be languishing this evening, carving obscenities on the walls of their cells, and of course, watching Monstervision. And tonight's letter comes from Nico Villanueva of the Fulton County Correctional Facility in Johnstown, New York. Dear Mr. Riggs, we at FCCF love your program and also the low-budget movies that you play, not to be rude, but we men here love them. And we wanted to know if you can take a request, and if so, the movie is Pumpkinhead. Also, the boys and I would like to know if Honey, who you used one evening, well, what I'm trying to say, she is very beautiful and reminds me of my ex-wife, and with all respect, we would like to know if that's her real figure, 34, 26, 34. If so, God bless you, Mr. Riggs. Hope you get our letter from us and take our request into consideration. Thanks, Nico V. Well, Nico, in fact, as you may know, Honey the male girl, who is no longer here ever since she met some slime ball named Sven Svensson or something, some Swedish guy. I mean, I don't know if he's a slime ball or not, but I like to think he's a slime ball anyway. Honey's actual measurements were 38, 23, 35, pretty dang amazing, huh? Getting depressed, just thinking about it, just remembering that cute little giggle she had, you know? That adorable way she walked, you know? And of course, those nuclear-sized hematomas she had. So anyhow, I want you to explain something to me, though, Nico. Why is it that jailbirds always want to see Pumpkinhead? What is it about Pumpkinhead that makes it the world's most requested movie from inside prison? But I will check it out for you, Nico. It stars my buddy Lance Henriksen, and we'll do that. Okie dokie. The Fulton County Correctional Facility, which we're honoring tonight, is a hoop and a holler from Albany, New York. They have 104 inmates, 98 male inmates, and 6 female. Bad odds there, guys. It's the new county jail, actually. They have fancy names now for the county jail, you know, but it opened in '94, average stay 4 months. They pay for their cable TV by purchasing reading material and cigarettes in the commissary, and all the profits from that go to the cable. Now, the males live 12 to a unit with 1 TV and 1 newspaper in each unit. So, I do appreciate you guys watching Monstervision because I know you got to get 7 votes to keep Monstervision on. But always remember, guys, Monstervision loves a captive audience. Free your mind, and your butt will follow. Okay, back to The Protector.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and The Protector on TNT.
All right, Jackie Chan versus Bill Wallace, better known as Superfoot, in a great kung fu to the death sequence. But Jackie always saves one great stunt for the ending, and this one is amazing. I can't believe that they did this stunt, and I should give some credit here to James Glickenhaus, who wrote and directed this movie. But this final sequence in the container shipyard, I don't think any human being alive could do this sequence or would be brave enough to do this sequence except Jackie Chan. So roll film for the conclusion of The Protector. One thing I don't understand, though, why do they call this movie The Protector? Who's protecting? We got the Hong Kong gangster. He's not protecting anybody. We got Benny Garucci. He's not protecting anybody. Danny and Jackie aren't protecting anybody. In fact, they got that old man killed, right? So what's with the protector dealie? What's that? Only guy who's protecting anybody is that weaselly British superintendent of police. He's protecting the gangster, right? So they named the movie after him? Write in to me if you know the answer, because this stuff bugs me, probably only me, but okay. Go.
We now return to Joe Bob's Last Call on TNT.
That kung fu fight on the container ship gondola while it's rising up higher and higher in the air and the helicopter's buzzing it and they're throwing those boxes at each other. Then Jackie scrambles up into the cab of that crane, drops that load on the helicopter. That was just plumb amazing, you know? Why don't they have Academy Awards for Best Stunt Sequence? I've watched that thing 7 times. I still can't believe they did that or even know how they did that. Okay, that was The Protector. I want to remind you that next week on Monstervision we have The Fly, one of the greatest horror movies ever made, the one from the 80s with Jeff Goldblum, not that original one from the 50s. And then we have Joe Bob's Last Call will be The Warriors, one of the greatest gang movies ever made, a cult film that most of us never get tired of. So it's an outstanding week next week. Tune in for that. Until then, I think I'm done here, I believe. You guys have anything?
No, not really.
Thanks for speaking up, but I only want you to speak up when you're going to praise the host of the show, okay? Did you guys hear the one about the man and his wife who were driving on the freeway? Yep. And this state trooper pulls him over, and he walks up to the driver's window and he says, "License and registration, please." And the man says, "I'm sorry, officer, what seems to be the problem?" And the cop says, "Well, I clocked you on radar doing 80. And the man says, "There must be some mistake. I was only going 65. And the man's wife says, "Oh, Harold, you were going at least 85. And then the state cop says, "I'm also citing you for having a tail light out." And the man says, "But officer, I wasn't aware that that light was out." And the wife says, "Oh, Harold, you know it's been out for 2 months. And then the cop says, "Well, I'm also fining you for not wearing your seatbelt." The man says, well, officer, I just took that off as you were approaching my car." And the wife says, "Oh, Harold, you know you never wear that seatbelt." So the man says, "Listen, you dumb cow, shut your mouth." So the cop says, "Ma'am, does he always talk to you this way?" And the wife says, "Only when he's drunk." Joe Bob Briggs reminding you that the drive-in will never die. The Monstervision thought for the week: I want to die in my sleep like my grandfather. Not screaming and yelling like the passengers in his car.